The Honda Accord has a reputation that borders on legendary: reliable, strong, and bulletproof. The kind of car people buy and then forget about for 10 years. But here is the part no one talks about. Not all Accords are created equal. Some model years quietly turn into money pits, plagued by transmission failures, engine issues, and repair bills that show up long after the warranty is gone. Owners buy them expecting stress-free ownership, and end up stuck at the repair shop wondering what went wrong. At the same time, there are Accord years that are absolute tanks, with cars that rack up 250,000 miles using basic maintenance and still refuse to die. These are the years mechanics recommend to their own family members. Stick around, because one of the worst Accord years looks like a great deal on the used market right now, and one of the best years is shockingly affordable if you know what to look for. Let's start with the Honda Accord years to avoid. #3. 1998 to 2002 Honda Accord. The 1998 to 2002 Honda Accord marks one of the most disappointing chapters in an otherwise legendary nameplate. This generation arrived during a major transition period for Honda, and unfortunately, owners became the test subjects. On paper, these Accords promised refinement and reliability. In reality, they delivered some of the worst transmission failures Honda has ever produced. The biggest problem starts with the automatic transmission. These gearboxes were fundamentally flawed, torque converters overheated, internal clutches wore out prematurely, and many transmissions failed well before 100,000 miles. Owners didn't just experience rough shifting. The cars would suddenly refuse to move, slipping into neutral at highway speeds or failing entirely at stoplights. But it didn't stop there. These Accords were also plagued with electrical issues, including failing ignition switches, malfunctioning sensors, and erratic dashboard warning lights that sent owners chasing phantom problems. Add in weak engine mounts and premature suspension wear, and repair visits became routine rather than rare. Here is the part that really frustrates mechanics. Honda knew these transmissions were bad. Extended warranties were quietly issued, but many owners missed the coverage window by a few thousand miles, leaving them on the hook. Transmission replacements regularly cost $3,500 to $5,000, often more than the car's actual value. Rebuilt units didn't always fix the problem either, because the design itself was the issue. Much like early aluminum trucks punished Ford buyers for being early adopters, this Accord generation punished loyal Honda owners for trusting the badge. These cars should have been bulletproof daily drivers. Instead, they became rolling repair bills. If you are shopping used, do not let the Honda name fool you. The 1998 to 2002 Accord is a prime example of why reputation alone doesn't guarantee reliability. Avoid this generation unless you enjoy gambling with your wallet. Number 2. 2003 Honda Accord. The 2003 Accord marked the launch of a full redesign, and just like many first-year vehicles, it became a rolling experiment. Honda introduced new electronics, revised drivetrains, and updated safety systems all at once. On paper, it looked like progress. In the real world, owners paid the price for Honda's growing pains. The most serious issue carried over from the previous generation: automatic transmission failure. While Honda made changes, they weren't enough. Many 2003 Accords still suffered from slipping gears, delayed engagement, and sudden transmission death, often before hitting 120,000 miles. Drivers reported the car hesitating when pulling into traffic or completely losing drive without warning, creating dangerous situations on busy roads. Electrical problems were another major headache. Faulty ignition switches, failing power window regulators, and malfunctioning dashboard electronics left owners stranded or chasing expensive diagnostics. Sensors would fail randomly, triggering warning lights that didn't match the actual problem. A nightmare for both owners and mechanics. Then there were the braking and safety system concerns. Early ABS module failures caused inconsistent braking performance, and airbag system recalls forced many owners into repeated dealer visits. Engine mounts wore out prematurely, causing violent vibrations that made the car feel far older than it was. Here is where the costs spiral. Transmission repairs routinely ran $3,500 to $5,000. Electrical repairs added thousands more, and suspension and mount replacements stacked up fast. Much like Ford's early aluminum trucks, this Accord punished buyers for trusting a brand new redesign. Honda eventually improved in later years, but 2003 owners were stuck footing the bill. The lesson is simple: never assume the first year of a redesign is safe, even from Honda. Number 1. 2013 Honda Accord. The 2013 Accord arrived as part of a major refresh aimed at modernizing the lineup with new technology, updated drivetrains, and improved efficiency. Honda marketed it as smarter, cleaner, and more advanced. What they didn't advertise was that early buyers would once again become unpaid beta testers. The biggest red flag was the CVT automatic transmission. This was Honda doubling down on efficiency-focused tech before it was fully proven. Owners reported shuddering, hesitation, delayed acceleration, and in some cases, complete transmission failure. Unlike traditional automatics, CVT issues don't give much warning. One day it drives fine, the next day it won't move properly. That unpredictability is what made these failures especially dangerous. Electrical problems were another major sore spot. Infotainment systems froze or went black entirely. Backup cameras failed, and warning lights illuminated for no clear reason. Much like the electronic steering failures on Ford's early aluminum trucks, these issues struck without warning, leaving drivers frustrated and sometimes stranded. Brake system complaints also surfaced. Premature brake wear, ABS module failures, and inconsistent braking feel led to recalls and repeat dealer visits. Some owners reported needing full brake system servicing far earlier than expected. Not what you want from a family sedan known for reliability. And here is where the costs pile up. CVT replacements can run $4,000 to $6,000. Infotainment and electronic module repairs often add another $1,500 to $3,000. By the time these issues stack up, owners are staring at repair bills dangerously close to the car's resale value. Just like Ford's early aluminum experiment, the 2013 Accord proves one thing clearly: new technology introduced too fast becomes the owner's problem. Later years improved significantly, but this one belongs squarely on the avoid list. Up to this point, everything we have covered has been about where Honda went wrong with rushed redesigns, unproven technology, and owners left paying the price for decisions made in engineering meeting rooms. These are the years that damage trust and drain wallets, but that's only half the story. Because long before CVTs, touchscreen dashboards, and efficiency-driven experiments, Honda built cars with a very different philosophy. So now, we move away from the Honda Accord years to avoid, and into the years that earned the Accord its legendary reputation. The models that mechanics still recommend without hesitation. This is where Honda got it right. 3. 1994 to 1997 Honda Accord. This generation represents Honda at its absolute peak of engineering discipline. No experiments, no rushed technology, no flashy features added before they were ready. Just simple, overbuilt mechanical systems designed to last forever. These Accords weren't trying to impress reviewers. They were built to survive decades of daily abuse. Let's start with the engines. The four-cylinder motors from this era are legendary for a reason. They run cool, resist internal wear, and tolerate missed maintenance far better than they should. Timing components were robust, internal tolerances were conservative, and oil consumption was minimal even past 200,000 miles. It's not uncommon to see these cars still running strong at 300,000 miles and beyond. The automatic transmissions were solid and predictable. Shifts were smooth, failures were rare, and when maintenance was followed, these gearboxes simply kept going. Manual transmissions from this generation are even better, often outlasting the rest of the car. There were no fragile infotainment screens or overcomplicated control modules. Sensors and switches worked, and when they failed, they were inexpensive and easy to replace. Brake systems were straightforward, dependable, and free from the electronic nightmares seen in later models. Here is the part mechanics love. Repairs on these cars are cheap, accessible, and predictable. Parts are plentiful, labor is straightforward, and nothing requires specialized recalibration or software updates. While newer Accords punished owners for being early adopters, the 1994 to 1997, Accord rewards owners for choosing simplicity. This is what "they don't build them like they used to" actually means. So if you want an Accord that lasts forever, this generation sets the standard. Number 2. 2014 to 2017 Honda Accord. These years represent Honda finally correcting the missteps that plagued earlier versions of the 9th generation. Unlike the 2013 model, which pushed new technology too fast, the 2014 to 2017 Accords benefited from refined systems, proven components, and real-world feedback. This is Honda fixing what didn't work and getting it right. Transmission reliability improved dramatically. The CVT programming was revised, internal components were strengthened, and failure rates dropped sharply. Shuddering, hesitation, and sudden loss of power became rare. These transmissions don't just survive. With proper maintenance, they hold up well past 200,000 miles. Electrical systems also matured. Infotainment bugs were largely resolved, sensors became more reliable, and owners stopped reporting random warning lights and blacked-out screens. Unlike earlier tech-heavy years, these systems functioned consistently instead of failing without warning. Brake systems and suspension components were another area of improvement. Premature wear issues were addressed, ABS reliability increased, and owners no longer faced repeated dealer visits for recalibration or module replacement. The braking feel became predictable, exactly what you want in a daily driver. Here is what really matters: repair costs. These Accords avoid the nightmare scenarios seen in problem years. You are not staring down $5,000 transmission replacements or $3,000 electronic repairs. Most maintenance stays routine, affordable, and expects nothing catastrophic. Much like Ford eventually figured out aluminum construction after early failures, Honda finally stabilized its modern Accord formula during these years. The 2014 to 2017 Accord rewards buyers instead of punishing them for trust. If you want a modern Accord that balances technology with durability without becoming Honda's unpaid test subject, this is one of the safest long-term bets you can make. Number 1. 2020 to 2022 Honda Accord. These model years represent Honda operating without panic, without rushing, and without forcing unfinished technology onto buyers. By this point, Honda had already worked through the early problems of the 10th generation, including turbocharged engine concerns and software-related issues. What remained was a well-sorted, thoroughly tested platform. Let's start with the powertrains. The naturally aspirated and turbocharged engines in these years benefited from revised internal components, improved cooling, and updated software calibrations. Early oil dilution concerns that haunted previous years were largely resolved, and long-term owner reports show stable performance well past 150,000 to 200,000 miles without abnormal wear. Transmission reliability also improved significantly. CVT behavior became smooth and predictable, with far fewer reports of shuddering, slipping, or sudden failure. Unlike early CVT experiments, these units don't surprise drivers with abrupt loss of drive, a critical safety improvement. Electronics, a major weak point in earlier years, finally reached maturity. Infotainment systems became stable, driver assist features worked as intended, and random warning lights stopped dominating owner complaints. This is the opposite of the fails without warning nightmare seen in earlier problem years. Brake systems, steering components, and suspension hardware also benefited from refinement. Owners report consistent braking feel, reduced premature wear, and far fewer recall-related service visits. When repairs do occur, they tend to be routine and affordable. Much like Ford eventually turned aluminum into a success story after early missteps, Honda finally perfected its modern Accord with the 2020 to 2022 models.